What is going on, Governor? Chisgule here, and we're back for more Ark of Osiris. This time around, our allies in VYG are going to be rocking out in the Ark. We've got about 14 or so minutes before that starts, so in the meantime, we're just going to hang out a little bit, kill some barbarians to spend down our action points, and answer any questions that you have in the chat. So we're going to hang out, we're going to watch some Ark, offer some guidance, and there's probably a lot that can be taken away from the Ark that we had yesterday. So there's some lessons that we'll definitely be sharing around how to more optimally rock out in the Ark of Osiris when your kingdom has had some big wars, and that really does change the strategy. So welcome those who are joining. For some reason, I'm not seeing anything in chat yet. There we go. Now everything's popping up. Welby, what's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. We're just running around right now with Minamoto and... not Minamoto. Cao Cao and Barca. We're leveling up our Barca because he is someone we're going to want to be a primary in the not-too-distant future. He's someone we're going to want to be a primary commander in the not-too-distant future. That's because we're making our way toward VIP 14. When we hit VIP 14, we're going to be able to pay our way to the expertise skill on Barca, and we're going to do a good video on exactly what we think about that. Daddy OG, what is going on? Welcome to the chat. Thanks for watching. Welby, I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. Having a good afternoon. Sphinx, what's going on? Ready to win? I hope so. I hope we'll be cheering on VYG to victory. I gave them a bunch of guidance based on our experience yesterday, being down a lot of marches from where we normally are, on what the strategy ought to be. Dennis, what's going on? Welcome. Amir, hello. Lahatin, greetings from Finland. Hey, hello to Finland. AAAG. Hey, man, been watching you for a long time. Thank you for your long-time support. I really appreciate that. Becoming a streamer and a YouTuber has been a heck of a journey, and I really appreciate everyone who's been on that journey with me. Yakia says, road to T5. Dude, we're on that road, baby. We're on the road to T5. It's a long road. It's a windy road. Mostly involves a lot of research speed-ups and swapping to Korea, but we're on it. We are on it. Oscar says that he needs an Archer Purple Commander. I really like Kusunoki. Kusunoki clears all of the debuffs from his by using his active skill, which is really good. He does AoE. But I also really like Herman because he generates a lot of rage and he actually adds a lot of archer speed, which is pretty good. Trim says, how do I recover from losing all your troops? I hate to say it, but you're going to have to train a lot of troops. The good news is that troops are replaceable. The bad news is that it takes a while. How do you do that faster? Runes help a lot. Speed ups help a lot. And Daddy OG is asking how my research is. We will definitely show you what that looks like. The Legend 27 is saying that Legend Ronnie is streaming at the same time. I did not know that Legend Ronnie is streaming. That's pretty cool. Anth is asking, what's the best legendary and elite cavalry combo? Best or easiest to obtain? I would say Minamoto with Pelagius might be one of my favorite combinations. Very, very smashy. I also really like Bybars right now because of the AoE for Ark of Osiris. So that might actually be more of a direction I might try to go there. Another pairing I like, if we're talking the legendary, is the primary. I like Cao Cao a lot, but he's harder to obtain. Right now, we're just spending down our action points, just hanging out a little bit. We got 10 minutes till we actually need to get rolling here. And you can see, look, I'm in a hurry, so I don't really care what level of Barbarian I hit. We have kind of an easy time doing that. What's my first Tier 5 unit going to be? My first Tier 5 is going to be Cavalry, baby. I have the expertise skill on Mina. I have the expertise skill on Cao Cao. We've been working on them for a long time. We're going to live that dream. Deanne is saying, hey, I'm setting Pelagius for garrison and cavalry is that bad? No, it's amazing. Pelagius is exceptional in the garrison. Pelagius is exceptional, period. Period. He's great. He's great in the garrison in part because, like, look, none of his skills work toward movement speed. So there's nothing wasted. It's all good in the garrison. He's particularly good against a rally rather than a swarm. Tickmont is saying, hey, Chisgule, thanks a lot for the commander advice. You beat a level 66 expedition as a 7 million power player. Wow, that's pretty awesome, dude. Congratulations. Congratulations. Amir is saying Spooby is streaming too. Hey, we got a streaming party. We really should all stream together. That'd be fun. The Legend 27 saying, hey, do you have any recommendations for a free-to-play player? I like commanders that give extra experience for a free-to-play player so that you can power up other commanders as well. You should focus on commanders that are generalists and good in a lot of areas initially, but then once you start to specialize in troops, I think that cavalry is the way to be. Cavalry is where you should be because if we just get a quick look at commanders, we zip over here. It's this talent here, Charge, that gives you a 30% move speed when your army is below 50% health. That is absolutely crucial for a free-to-play player to be able to escape when they get in trouble. So I really like Cavalry, and I like those talents for that reason. Care is asking, did I swap civilizations? I did. I have already swapped to Korea for cranking out research, and we'll show our research actually in just a second here. We'll kill these 2 barbarians, and then as our troops are walking back to town, we'll show you the research. We'll send out the farmer once they go back to town, and then we'll swap over. We've got an Ark of Osiris starting in under 10 minutes now, which is pretty darn exciting. Pretty darn exciting. Is building Joan of Arc in the support tree good? It is. You can no longer use her as a primary for gathering at that point. Not really. But the support tree is very, very strong. I think that unfortunately, the other trees that come with Joan of Arc are not all that exciting, so I don't know, I'm only marginally excited about Joan of Arc being in the support tree and being the primary. I think there's cool stuff you can do, but there's other places I would look. We're going to heal up our troops here, collect some goodies, and let me show you my research. Here's the economic research, looking really, really good. Looking really, really good. Everything maxed out up until here. We're working our way now toward machinery level 10. Another 5% gathering speed seems really, really good. And we're also working slowly on carriage and cutting and polishing, and that is because if we go to our military tech, you can see here we're looking real good. We picked up cartography, which is huge. Cartography level 5 is huge. It took forever to max out defensive formation and herbal medicine. We make our way over here. You can see we're working on cavalry first. We're working on cavalry first because you've got to have, I believe, plate armor maxed out, and plate armor might require stirrups. I'm not sure. You also need to have, but let's see, well, we can confirm here. We need to have medical corps level 10. Medical corps level 10 requires combined arms and encampment. Encampment I can actually do now that I've unlocked cartography level 5, and combined arms I have to have carriage and cutting and polishing. So I'm pretty sure that carriage and cutting and polishing are going to require me to max out my economic tech. We'll see. We'll see. So yeah, the Legend 27 saying I need to max out economy for T5. It's a pain. Let me tell you, I get value from the investments I've made in the economic technology. I don't hate it. Not one bit. So this is the way I look around to find where I'm going to gather. I just like go in a loop around our alliance territory. I've made a suggestion that hopefully at some point gets implemented as a quality of life feature that you can search within your alliance territory for the nearest resource node rather than like searching for the nearest resource node of a certain level, because I really want to be farming on alliance territory. Here we go. We found some stuff we can go and farm over here. It's a little bit of a long trip, but not so bad. We got our Tau Barca that's going to make it back to town in just a couple seconds. We'll send out some more gatherers. Then we're going to swap over to my farming account. Really, it's not really a farming account. I haven't done much farming with it. We'll swap over now to my other account that is in this kingdom. Bada boom. This account is in VYG. Our alliance is or our allies' alliance, and we'll be able to spectate. Now you can see, and I'll show you this in just a second. You can see here, this is an even fight. This is a super even fight. But I gave a lot of advice to Walls from VYG about the way that I think they should fight this battle. Our kingdom has had huge amounts of wars. VYG has a T5 player, but they're basically out of troops. In fact, most of VYG, as I understand, has lost profound amounts of troops in this last war. You'll see why on the war video series that we have. Some crazy stuff goes down at the tail end of this war. Like, it's insane. Like, spoiler alert, I'll give a spoiler. Over 2 billion troops die in a single battle. 2 billion? No, 2 million. Over 2 million troops die in a single battle. So, yeah, we'll have footage of that. It's going to be pretty nuts. It's going to be pretty nuts. But the way you have to play Ark is very, very different when you're low on troops. It's very, very different. Having a lot of marches goes a very, very long way. And the other thing is that, like, yeah, I know, 2 billion. Misspeak there. The other thing that's significant is that everybody's drained on healing speed-ups. All right, so we've got moments to go until this Ark of Osiris begins. I can give you a quick tour of the farming account that I've got set up. I'm located in my Alliance territory, sort of. I'm in this little area here so that people can't teleport into an area that's not opportune on our land, sort of. Also, the reason to teleport off of your land instead of on it, assuming you're not worried about getting attacked, which I'm not, is that if I park my city on our land, it would prevent resource nodes from spawning there. I'm a little bit far away from where my main character lives over here. Where am I? There I am. And this account I intend to set up to farm resources and to generate a lot of value doing that. I just got to the point where I have 4 marches. So I just got to City Hall 17, which is pretty sweet. And now I can get a lot of resources, although I got to level up my gathering commanders, which is not easy to do when you've not invested at all in, any of the stuff that helps you do that. So we've got 1 minute and 38 seconds to go. Let me answer your questions while we wait. This thing's going to open up really, really soon. Red Cavalry, thank you so much for your support. I do really appreciate it. Extremis is saying, K92 Arc, 7 guys with T5, last 4 minutes. Jeez. Sphinx, is the only way to get Minamoto by paying for him? Yes. Yes, indeed it is. Welby boys, I'm new to the game. Can you recommend good beginning commanders to level up? I have Osmond at level 14 right now. I would recommend that you focus on Boudica. Boudica accelerates your experience gain, and she's a generalist, and she's gosh darn good at whatever you want to do. The skill tree's exceptional. Peacekeeping's great as you're leveling up. I like them both a lot. Nathan, welcome. Yes, you finally made it to one of my live videos. We are live. Indeed. Almas says he loves archers. Archers are kind of cool. I'm debating if I should be investing in Yi Seong-Yae. I'm sincerely struggling with who I should invest in next. Is it Yi Seong-Yae or is it Mehmed II? I need some AoE. I don't have any AoE commanders. I got to get serious about that. And I'm not sure what I want to do there on the legendary front. On the legendary front, what do I want to do? Jason Bourne, woohoo, YouTube notification squad. Nice. Legend 27, farmers going crazy. Yeah, got a farm, baby. Voidly, who to pair with Max Ulji, 5111 Richard, or Max Sun Tzu? Hey, and the battle is in progress. Let's get watching. Let's get to watching. Hopefully we've got a bunch of our friends in VYG that make it to the fight. I know it's kind of late at night for where they are located. One of the players that you're going to watch or want to keep an eye on is Locos. Locos is a tier 5 player. And there's a little bit of an inside joke going on here. Which is that you see Thanos as his icon. So a guy named Lethanos was the original leader of the Alliance Marvel, who we spent a lot of time warring with, and he would update his picture to be all kinds of different versions of Thanos. And Locos here has taken it upon himself to make his icon Thanos with an infinity gauntlet and the names of all of our allies where the gems are supposed to be. So, anyways, I thought that was pretty funny, pretty creative here. So, Walls, I know, is one of the officers of VYG, as is Bosanjero, and I hope I said that correctly. I apologize if I didn't. I do kind of like that it puts the alliance leader and some of the officers up in the front. It does look like we've got a not quite full group here. We've got a not quite full group here. We'll be able to see the exact numbers in just a moment. And we'll talk about how I think the strategy has to change if your kingdom has been at war, and it does substantially have to change. We learned that lesson the hard way yesterday. Pretty painful. Pretty painful. Is Charles Martel and Boudica a good infantry army? Absolutely. Absolutely. Boudica helps generate rage, debuff the enemy. Boudica's great, man. Boudica is exceptional, and Martel is exceptional. Barry Beefeater. Hey, Chisgule, love the videos. Thank you for your support. Means a lot. Daddy OG, Kingdom buff does not work in Ark. That is correct. Yes, Dratharian is saying it's LeBron Thanos. That's right. Le Thanos came from LeBron, who renamed himself a combination of LeBron and Thanos. The history here is kind of remarkable. Okay. I can't pronounce your name. Hey, Chisgule, Ronnie is also live. Where should I go? I choose you, and please don't disappoint me. Wait, and please disappoint me. You want me to disappoint you? What's going on here? What's going on here? Legend 27, Chisgule, suggestions for Zone 2. My alliance is just getting to Zone 2. It's all about the shrine. All about the shrine and the passes. Build your flags efficiently. Build your flags efficiently. Grab gold nodes. Yep, get to a pass level 3. Build a fort. Build a fort probably next to one of the shrines. Okay, here we go. Ark of Osiris starting right now. What I want to see is a lot of folks fanning out across the map, heading toward each of these objectives, optimally using Tier 1 Cavalry, which is the fastest you can possibly get to go to where you're going. That is what we want to see. And right now, I don't see anybody going to this outpost. We got one going here. We got a some going there. We've got nobody going to the obelisk. There we go. One going to the obelisk and one going on this obelisk. It's kind of a slow start for our allies looking up in the top. They've got a bunch of marches headed to the outposts, to the obelisk. All of the outposts on their way to being visited, and both obelisks, heavy amount of folks going to the right-hand side. You know, it's worth mentioning, you don't have to have all these people go to the obelisk. It only takes one, and it only takes the first one to get in there, start the conversion for that 3-minute clock, and you can send those marches other places. That said, I really struggled during Ark of Osiris controlling my armies at times because I would go and I would attack a player's army, but then that army would get defeated, and I wouldn't notice because I was traveling a long way across the map that my army was now retreating back to town when I wanted to be getting into the middle area. I really wish there was a way to like tap on the Temple of Osiris to send troops toward it. Heck, to tap anywhere on the map and to be able to send your troops to a location would be really, really nice. But that's not how it works. What I do like is that VYG is going to be rocking these caravans. Oh yes, they are rocking those caravans, and you can score a serious number of points from those caravans. Now it looks like we've got 1,600 Tier 1 Cavalry, with Lancelot leading the charge, heading to the obelisk. Who is going to get first structure? It is VYG, grabbing an outpost, but met pretty closely by someone from our folks in blue. Let's see who they are. KN3M grabbing an obelisk as well. If we take a look at what we're working with here, it's 26 on 23. Our allies have 7 players who did not show up, which is kind of a bummer. It's kind of a bummer. At the same time, the Alliance Nemesis is missing 4 players, but in a matchup that was even to begin with, that is not so hot for our friends in red. In fact, think about it. If each of those players could have brought 2 marches to the battlefield, because we've been in war, so most of them probably don't have more than 2 marches, if they even have a full 2 marches. We're talking about being down 6 marches of troops, which is a really, really big deal. It's a really, really big deal. Meanwhile, Blue has been the first to grab all of the objectives they need to grab, running a little bit behind here with our friends in red, although their officer, Entiquak, is on her way to grab this outpost, and, you know, it's still a pretty even setup here. First blood has not yet been drawn. First blood has not yet been drawn. What I would really love to see at this stage in the battle is for folks from red and blue to posture forward toward the desert altar, the shrine of life, the sky altar, and the shrine of war on both sides of the map. That is really what needs to happen right now. Posture forward so that when this timer goes down to 0, and there's only 75 seconds left on that timer, they can step right into the structure and get that conversion rolling. Get that conversion rolling. The Ark of Osiris itself doesn't actually spawn for 8 minutes, so being in the center of the map doesn't really accomplish much right now. And, you know, I don't know if the other side has T5s. It will be interesting to see if they do. I know Locos has at least some T5s, but let me tell you, this last war drained the heck out of everybody. So I don't know if he's got more than 2 marches, quite frankly. So if we get a look around the map, I don't see anybody heading toward the Shrine of War. That said, I don't know that we would actually see lines going toward it, even if they were headed there, because I don't know that you can send folks to a structure until it is available for capture. So they might go past it. Maybe that's the way to do it. Let's see if Blue is taking that wisdom. They have not postured forward at all yet as well, which is interesting. They are posturing forward, but in the middle, where I think it matters literally not at all, although to my surprise, it does look like our allies in VYG want to hold the center early in the game. They are marching their way up with some cavalry and some general strong open field armies. Okay. Victor says you can drag your troop location like an expedition. That is true, but I found it's really a pain in the butt to do if you're going more than 1 screen length away. If you're going more than 1 screen length away, that's pretty tough. Pulpet saying, hey, Chis, we won 65K to 19K, and we are 19 versus 28. Wow, well played. Well played. You know, never give up. And never make assumptions about whether or not you will win or lose in Ark of Osiris based on the power. We certainly have learned it's hard to judge that. That said, now is when these structures have opened and nobody on either side is capturing any of them, which I think is a little bit of a mistake. I do like, however, that Walls has teleported forward and he's starting to get his marches into the action. One more porting forward, and that is Locos himself, the madman, stepping up, wearing that gauntlet of power. And where is he going to go? Probably to start setting rallies. Now, you see something here that we've not seen in other Ark of Osiris that I love is happening, which is that this player Rostock, who you may remember from some of my recent videos from War when they played with our alliance, they are getting a free ride with Walls and Locos. They reinforced those cities. When Walls and Locos ported forward, now those 2 marches are on their way to the field, and I think that's a pretty legit way to get a free ride to wherever your alphas are headed. Comedically, Rostock, they had their armies hanging out in my city during the last couple war videos that we did, and I was basically like a battle cruiser teleporting around, and then they would have a march that was reinforcing my city go out with me and do stuff, which was pretty cool. Okay, so we've got our friends in red fanning across the map, both sides really lagging behind to catch all of these altars and shrines, but there it is. Now, at about the same time, it's sort of evened up, and we've got open field combat around the Ark. The place that I really want to see Locos go, more than anywhere else on the map, is to the Temple of Osiris. In my opinion, Locos needs to be the one with his T5s to hold down the temple. And if he doesn't hold down the temple, then I'm afraid that with the fewer number of marches that our friends in VYG are going to have because of all this warring, that they're not going to be able to hold the temple area, and that blue is going to be able to run those flags unopposed. In the meantime, let's see where we can find some action. Possible swarm attack coming into this desert altar, which would be pretty spicy. That said, Locos T5 going to show up to that party, and let me tell you, they are very quickly going to see that strategy is not going to work. And you can see here that 3 marches are on the field from Locos. This may be all of the marches that Locos has. It is entirely possible that all he has is 2 partial marches, 3 partial marches. I mean, look, war is savage. That said, we can see now that that Locos has been swapped as the garrison captain. At least I assume that swap is to make him the captain, and serious punishment being delivered to the players attacking this altar. Serious punishment going out to them because, like, look, how do you battle with T5 levels of tech? I will say that I think a lot of these folks outside the altar ought to get into it if they can, because, you know, the altar is taking some damage here, and Ron Damon looking like they're actually pretty strong here with a Richard I army attacking in. I wonder if we've got some T5 going on right over there. In the meantime, folks getting chased away and around this particular objective. The T5 in there holding it strong, but I'll point out that a lot of these armies belong to Locos. He can't put them in to this objective. There can only be one army of his in the objective at a time. What might be interesting is if he swaps the armies that he has in the objective, you could theoretically have Locos put his cavalry march in there, but instead he's choosing to attack the infantry player, which I think is a fine choice. Are those T5? Oh, wait a minute. See, I'm telling you, he doesn't have full marches. He's using a mixed army of archers and cavalry with his Minamoto. So, you know, war hurts, my friends. The cost of war is real. The cost of war is real, and I don't think he has full T5s either. He may have 1 or more T5s. And this guy, Ron Damon, who I suggested might have T5 earlier, I think he does have T5. Those look like T5 to me. Do those look like T5 to you? I think these are T5. I think these are T5. All right, let's see. Is there action anywhere else on the map? I don't know that there is. I don't know that there is. Also, those are Legionnaires. Are they T5? I don't think so. In the meantime, it looks like this objective is actually going to have been swarmed successfully. Not enough there to defend it. And on the left-hand side, only 2 people have ported forward. So it looks like they put 2 stronger players to hold down this side of the map, and it is just not enough. In the meantime, we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players that have ported forward on the right-hand side. And yeah, blue is walking all over this territory. Amazingly, blue going for possibly a swarm attack onto the VYG obelisk, which is, they've got the marches there to pull it off. In the meantime, Sky Altar, oh my goodness, look at that sick AoE damage coming out of Sun Tzu. That is just the reason that Sun Tzu exists. Sun Tzu lives for moments like this where he's hitting 4 to 5 armies. That is unbelievable. And look how fast the skill attacks are going off. If that is an expertise Sun Tzu, and I have to think that it is, they are getting 250 rage for hitting 5 targets with that AoE. And you can see blue now thinking twice about whether or not that's a wise attack, but strong moves being made instead onto this obelisk. And, oh, what tragic timing. Small rally departing from Marius' city, heading to who knows where. Looks like they're going to hit the desert altar. And the thing is that, you know, I don't know how much damage they're going to be able to do with 2 armies. And there's more important stuff to be doing here. In a moment like that, it might be worth canceling the rally to go reinforce the obelisk. I will say that what I've heard from almost every alliance in my kingdom is that they're really feeling the significance of having no healing speed-ups and fewer troops from all the warring that's been going on. In the meantime, our ally Wall is getting chased down here, and I think he turns around to fight, and I think that's correct. He doesn't have a lot of choice here. He's going to try to run away again. His infantry army stands really no chance of getting away because infantry just doesn't have a way to get away. And so he's going to turn and fight. The thing is, though, this might be some T5. It certainly is some Legionnaires. I don't think it's T5. Well, we got an interesting fight here. Now the folks in blue running away. I mean, I think folks have got to just duke it out. You're stuck here at this point. The only armies that can get away is cavalry armies that are below 50% health. So at this point, you may as well duke it out, and that is what they're doing. Let's see if we can find other significant combat. Wow, might have been a rally over here, getting kicked out of the Shrine of Life. Red trying to hold on to the territory, but really struggling to do that, and you know, blue is now getting away with that arc exactly in the way that I thought that might go down. Ark of Osiris is about a couple things. The strategy is definitely super relevant, and paired with it, simply the number of marches you can bring to the battle is a total game changer. It's a total game changer because it indicates the number of places that you can be in at a time. And each of these players can only be in 1 or 2 places at a time if they've only got 1 or 2 marches. And spoiler alert, after this last war, a lot of folks only have 1 or 2 marches. That said, we've got a swarm attack going into this obelisk, which I think is not a bad idea given that it is very critical that they hold this and that they don't let the enemy port forward. When you need to move in a hurry, then a swarm attack makes sense. But okay, it does look like they did get it back, and what they're swarming is the armies that are outside of the obelisk. That makes a little more sense. Awesome. Happy to see that. This is still anyone's battle, but a huge jump ahead is going to go in the favor of blue as soon as they capture this arc. And, red, I think, is going to need to capture more of these objectives, particularly on their side of the map, in order to prevent this from snowballing really, really quickly. And man, this could snowball very, very quickly. Let's get a look over here really quickly at the numbers. It's now 27 to 23. Missing those 7 players is not great. That is not great. In the meantime, we've got some open field skirmishing going on. What I'd love to see, and I hope is actually the case right now, is for Locos to have a rally going on one of these targets, and for Walls to rally the other one. Rather than fighting it all in the open field, I think they should have 2 rallies going on a 1-minute timer each. That's probably the way I would approach that. Then they reinforce each other's rallies, and that way, I just don't know what you're accomplishing here other than inflicting wounds, which maybe that is the strategy. They've got to win enough in the open field to damage this opponent so that it's a level playing field in terms of volume of troops. In the meantime, we've got Locos's Richard I army getting surrounded, and Walls there to support. Rostock deciding, gosh, do I stay or do I go? I'm not sure what the answer is. Locos starting to retreat. This is the problem with any army other than cavalry, is there really is no retreat once you've committed to a fight. They march too slowly, they're beating on you for free, and you don't get skill attacks, which is really tough. I really struggle with the role of infantry, honestly, in Ark of Osiris, because it's so easy to get caught out of position. What I do like is that our allies in red are starting to push up a little bit here, but man, I just don't know that they've got the numbers to handle this open field combat. You can see here look at this. This is a full march with only 126,000 troops. War takes its toll, my friends. War takes its toll. In the meantime, do we have any rally action going on over here? No, in fact, the opposite. Blue really taking control of this part of the battlefield, and now they're going to start to push into these cities, which I think is a smart play on their part. Let's get a look in the comments if you all have any questions. Your Rondman has 90 million power. Good to know. Nelb's pointing that out. Nelb's one of my alliance members. What's going on, my friend? The legend, Chisgule, and Legend Ronnie currently... Legend Ronnie's losing his mind? Wait, why is Legend Ronnie is losing his mind? Why is Legend Ronnie losing his mind? Lone Booker saying, "Hey, Chisgule, help me with SMTH, please. What is the best elite troop? And what is the best civilization at City Hall 11?" So in the early game, you really need an alliance, or not an alliance, a civilization that will get you to the late game. I like civilizations that generate a lot of resources or um, a lot of experience. I like Spain. I like Japan. Those are some of my favorites for that. In terms of commanders, I think Boudica is a great place to start. We can see here Walls is cruising back to his city, and they go real slow because it's infantry, which is tough in this cavalry unit making their way back. Locos might be going to swarm this Desert Altar, but I think that's a tough proposition. I'd really love to see that instead be a rally. And, this player, the Alpha Dog, pretty sure has got the T5s, which is going to be pretty tough to contend with. That is going to be pretty tough to contend with. Another army getting isolated here. Let's just do this real quick. Let's look on the enemy side of the battlefield. If I tap into these, I can see their power levels. Let's play a little game called Find the T5. 10 million power, 10 million power, 10 million power, 10 million power, 11, 13, 14, 11, 11, 7, 5, 4. Does it arrange people by power? Is that a thing? Is that a thing? Oh, you know what? Their power players must have teleported, right? 11 power, 15 million power. Oh, the Alpha Dog's only 15 million power. He doesn't have T5. Okay. 16 million power, 13 million power, 10 million power. There it is. Ron Damon with the MLG glasses. 60 million power. Now, that's a player who's got T5 and a lot of them. The obelisk being sneakily captured over here. Friends in red are going to have to turn around to grab that. And, a little bit of aggressive play, grabbing the far side Shrine of Life belonging to the folks in blue, but the cost is steep because they lose the Sky Altar. And of all the objectives they really need to hold right now, I think it really is the Sky Altar and the Desert Altar because they need the points to get back into this game. They really need the points to get back into this game. Dustin is saying our Ark of Osiris opponent had 4 players show up, 4 against our 20+. Wow, that didn't work out. Scheduling problem. That Portuguese dude, Korea as you recommended. Yes, Korea is good if you are spending a lot of speed ups to get your way to T5. In the meantime, we can see the lack of troops and marches really hurting our allies' ability to hold down the open field, and they are getting shoved out of that open field back to their outposts. In the meantime, the objective in the upper right also being attacked, and Jonas has given it up, saying, okay, it was a cute little gig while I took it myself. Now I've got to run back to safety. In the meantime, we can see a rally in onto the obelisk, but the rally's... Oh, it wasn't going well. But now Ron Damon has sort of stepped out, giving away the objective. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe that was an accident. But that's the T5 player, and the 2 T5s now battling it out, going head-to-head. Or not. Where's Locos going? That's confusing. I'm thinking that Ron Damon here did not mean to leave this obelisk. That was probably not intended, although now he's got 2 marches coming in to beat on it. We see Locos has stepped into the obelisk to defend it, and hopefully those are his captains inside there. I don't know if that is his Martel or someone else's. In the meantime, fight being brought back to the players' cities here. Whew, pretty rough. Dritharian saying, is Belisarius okay to level up if I don't have Boudica Lohar? Absolutely. Belisarius is a barbarian smashing commander, and I think that's the play. We've got Ron Damon retreating with his cavalry army, and that's an army that moves pretty quickly, so he should be able to get away, but leaving his infantry to beat on this objective, and I think they're going to capture it yet again. Now, it's worth mentioning that the score for owning the obelisk is actually quite low, only 20 points per minute, so not a lot of points to be gained by holding that objective. Let's compare that for a second. I don't think this is going to go well, by the way. As soon as this thing gets reinforced, they've got a T5 captain. This is not going to go well for our allies in red. It's going to have to be another rally to get that back. Let's get a look over here. The Desert Altar is a solid 150 points per minute, which is huge. A lot of points per minute. Adrian asking if Japan is a good civilization. Absolutely, Japan is one of the best. I used Japan right up until I swapped to Korea. If you're farming a lot of resources, that's a great way to go. Great way to go. In the meantime, our allies struggling a little bit because they don't have any healing speed ups and they didn't have the marches to begin with. This is going to be a really tough fight. However, at least one march has snuck way off into left field. Walls is making an attack here that unfortunately is just going to leave him wiped out. Trying to sneak his way over to the Sky Altar, and it did not work. In the meantime, hopefully we've got a rally going in on this objective soon. Haven't seen a lot of rallies on the part of blue, but they haven't really needed to rally a lot of stuff. All they need to do is hold their side of the map and move the Ark, and they've won this battle hands down. It's our friends in red that really need to make a play now. They really need to make a big play. Okay, a bunch of questions in the chat. Whizzle, oh, there's the rally I was looking for. And look, it's a small rally, but that's fine. That's totally fine. In Ark of Osiris, it doesn't need to be a huge rally. A small rally is fine, and you can see Entaquok sending 32,000 troops. I don't think that's going to go particularly well. Oy, oy, oy. We know there's at least 3 marches in there, and it's T5 as the captain, so I wouldn't send individual marches to that. Whizzle saying they won their Ark of Osiris earlier today. They had 17. We had 17. They had 8. But more of a combined total power than us. Very interesting. Naboshka saying, if you don't have peace in your kingdom, then you cannot so easily win an Ark. That is correct. Troops help. Who'd have thought? That Portuguese dude jumped to Kingdom 1 to get Richard. Nice. Already spent about $700 on the first day and talks to some people to do some things in new kingdoms. Wow. Big spender over here. Man, you should definitely organize a jumper group. W saying, what do you think is better, Baibars or Belisarius? I really like the AoE from Baibars for PvP. That said, 35% extra damage to barbarians is huge in PvP from Belisarius, so that would depend on your priorities. Victor Farodlo says, hey, we won our Ark of Osiris, but the opponent we played was from an older kingdom. They had way more troops and maxed out commanders, probably maxed out tech as well, by the way. We struggled holding a lot of buildings and took the Ark more than they did. Look, think about this. For every day older that a kingdom is, they can have trained probably like 2,000 more troops per type of troop training building. So for every day older a kingdom is, they've got 8,000 more troops per player. Which means in 20 days, they've got 160,000 troops. So a kingdom that's 20 days older than yours, for free-ish, they might have a full march more troops than you. Kind of interesting to think about the math that way, right? How do you get so many gold commander statues? Playing the events, buying them from the VIP shop, spinning the wheel. Adrian says, Chisgule, what's my favorite commander? Ooh, I think the strongest commander is Richard I. My favorite commander? That's a great question. Probably Minamoto. I've just done so much with him. He and I are BFFs forever. Foxy Fox. We're supposed to be 20 versus 30, but ended up 13 versus 28, and surprisingly, we won. If there's anything we've learned from Ark of Osiris this weekend, is that it's anybody's game. It's anybody's match. W is saying, who would you use, Baibars or Belisarius, as secondary commander for PvP? I would use Baibars. That AoE damage is amazing. This combat over here devolving into a bit of an open field melee, but make no mistake, blue is really controlling the field. And, our allies in red, you saw from the start, they just didn't have a lot of troops on the field, and now they're getting overrun because there just aren't that many troops to put on the field. Wannabe Sam, they had 10k difference from Ark score. You had no power players controlling that zone. Yes, we needed to put our power players in our Ark of Osiris match controlling the center, that's for sure. That is for sure. We've got, folks in blue teleporting up this way. Walls' city is burning. He may get forced back to the starting area if it burns for too long. That is pretty rough. That is pretty rough. Let's look at the number of players in the battle now. 27 versus 24. Don't love the odds. One more player showing up for our friends in red. Okay. Wannabe Sam, power player in the middle and power players to the side. Leave one side with less power players to defend and reinforcing. Yeah, I mean, they got to go somewhere. We had ours off to the sides. The intent was to hold. Lots of objectives. But as you can see here, Locos is a power player, but he's only got 2 marches. So how much can he do? There's only so many places he can be at a time. Let's see here. What else? What is the best way to get golden stars? That's a good question. I get mine from the VIP shop. Frequently, you can buy your way into the higher tier of gold star as well. More city burning. This is sad to see. Sad to see, but it's happening. It is happening. And more folks in blue teleporting over. There's the alpha dog. Whew. Pretty rough. At this point, the score differential says to me that, this match is all but over already. Given what we know about our kingdom and the war that's been going on, given that we know that these players have lost an unbelievable number of troops in that war, I think the fat lady is singing here. This was a fun exercise, but it is hard to battle in the Ark of Osiris without the troops to do it. Yuka just joined, and it is definitely the folks from KN3M that are winning. Yep, Walls' city getting teleported because it's been burning. Pretty soon, Locos' city might also be burning, and that is rough to see, but the likely reality of the situation. Locos is fighting in the open field with his T5s, doing some work on these armies. You can see 3 armies are going to get sent home in just a moment. But he can't be everywhere at once, and he doesn't have AoE commanders. He doesn't have AoE commanders, which is something that I personally am struggling with. I'm struggling with who my next investment is going to be. Should I be focused on expertising my Charles Martel, who is looking really, really strong? And there you see Locos' city getting attacked. I mean, I sort of hope they attack Locos' city because he can defend that super well. Super, super well. It looks like Locos might have Sun Tzu supporting Richard I. Yes, that is the case. And Sun Tzu is going to do work here. Look how many people there are to hit. That said, I'm thinking that YSG might be one of the next commanders that I invest in because the AoE would be insane in Ark of Osiris. And also, honestly, the expertise skill, if I ever got there, is really nuts for Ark of Osiris. Really, really nuts. Okay. Let's see here. Talked about some of the best ways to get golden stars. If you burn a city, what happens? A city that is burning automatically teleports back to the starting area. How to max Richard as fast as possible. Save up your sculptures so that when you get Richard, you can invest them all into Richard. And you should max spin that wheel, baby. Max spin that Richard wheel. The value is pretty legit. The value is pretty legit anyways. And, gosh. This became one-sided really, really quickly. We've got our friends in red here battling a whole bunch of folks in blue. Not only is our kingdom weakened by the series of wars that we've had, but um, our allies in red are down 4 players, which is 4 players, 3 players, pretty tough. Okay. Shaked is saying Nemesis for the win. Is that the name of this alliance? It is. That is Nemesis. JK8, is Hannibal Barca any good? Top 3 commander as a rally leader in Ark. Yes, absolutely. Barca's amazing. Barca's exceptional. I'm working on Barca right now. We're powering up our VIP, and we're going to expertise Barca pretty soon. James is saying that he loves the videos. Really appreciate their support, my friend. Adrian, is your alliance one of the best Chisgule? I mean, I'm biased. I love my alliance. I think they're amazing. Everyone in it is exceptional. Everyone in it is a tough fighter. Everyone in it is a lot of fun to hang out with. I love my alliance, and I'm kind of obligated to say all of that as the king and as the leader of the alliance. But, I do feel that way, truly. W is saying El Cid is on the wheel. I didn't know El Cid could be on the wheel. Anu is saying rip. Yeah, I know. Janko is saying, what's up? What's going on, my friend? Richie Moo says, hey, Chisgule, what's the best way to up VIP level? Buy stuff. Players that have all hit VIP level 15 say they look, they don't invest any gems in VIP. They just buy tons and tons of bundles, and the bundles come with VIP. That said, I'm gemming my VIP a little bit, maybe more than a little bit, honestly. And I've done that at times when I was close to VIP 10. I think VIP 12 was a big hump as well, where we got some really good stuff. Yeah, I think having nice VIP goes a really long way, especially you at level 10, you start getting the legendary sculptures and the gold key every day. It's a big deal. Henry Everett says, is Cao Cao primary and Minamoto secondary the best combo for march speed? It might be. That might be the way to do it. I'd have to look at the details to really see. We've got kind of one last stand going on around this obelisk. Bunch of open field fighting. I think folks are just having fun at this point. This battle is on its way to being over, still with even 22 minutes left to go. Trim is saying, which epic commander should I invest in for city defense? Any of the garrison commanders is really, really good. I think one of my favorites, if you think you're going to get rallied, is Pelagius. I think if you're going to get swarmed, then Sun Tzu's the way to go. Uka is saying, dang, this sucks. People are getting better in Osiris. People are getting better in Osiris, and, well, I think a lot of how well you can do is about troops. Volume of troops. Adrian says, are you currently at war with an alliance? Well, spoiler alert. I've got a video series going on right now with a huge war. Is that war still going on? No. If you want to see what the outcome was, just take a look in our kingdom and see what the alliance power levels are. Whizzle, I'm in love with this game, but it's tough being free-to-play player because you get picked on by people who spend a bunch. It's true, my friend. The best thing you can do is power up by grabbing tons of resources on the map. Check out my resource guide to try to get max value from farming resources. The Ricken Gamer. Hey, Chisgule, me and my alliance did Ark yesterday, and we won by 2 times the amount of points as our opponent. It was fun, and then a flex. Indeed. Brian Chung, watching this battleground is so peaceful. Yeah, it is sort of relaxing, quite frankly. It's probably not so relaxing for the people playing. Alex saying he loves my videos. Thank you, my friend. Nibujsa says, how old is your kingdom, Chisgule? Mine is 123 days old. Kingdom 1119. We're in kingdom 1051, and we are 160 days old. Anu says, which bundle is the best to purchase continuously and boost toward T5? Is the research bundle worth it? I like City of Hope if you need building speed-ups. If you don't need building speed-ups, then you've got to go with the research bundle. And that's the way I would probably do it. In fact, that's the way I've been doing it. Brian Chung, I had my BG this morning. Nice. Hope it went well for you. Alexander Torpfeld, the best way to get legendary sculptures. It's really events. Events are the best way to get the sculptures. Particularly events like Valentine's Day were just totally insane and high value. Totally high value. Henry Everett, being at war is really bad for Ark. We're down 4 players and fighting HK7. We're fully at peace and beat them pretty easily. Yep. If you want to beat them, join them. Adrian, I'm currently getting picked on the alliance called Raise. That's tough. It's tough if you're getting isolated out. How's this combat going? It's just a madhouse here. A madhouse around this particular objective. Meanwhile, you can see the cost of war really magnified in this battle. Really magnified. Okay. We'll leave it over here so you can see the combats and answer some more questions. Bruno, what do I think about Kingdom 1050? I have no opinion on Kingdom 1050. Don't know them very well. Hope we can all be friends when KVK hits and work together on stuff. Nash Gaming, my alliance had 30 members and only 113 million power and had an enemy with 113 million with only 15 members, and only 15 of ours showed up. Yikes. Drutharian, do you have a tier list for commanders, i.e. cavalry, archer, gathering, etc.? I don't have a tier list. I think that'd be sort of fun to do. We could put something together like that. Whizzle, the big alliance in my kingdom is called NUD3, Nude. And they're nice, but get in their way and you're done for. Yeah, it's tough. Tough to tango with certain players. Yeah, I don't love the act of zeroing someone. Nebushsa says, okay, well, I'm there in Kingdom 1119 with 13 million power and free to play. Very nice. Very nice. Whew, this open field combat is still going. Wow. Okay, let's keep looking at the comments here. Foxy, I got a letter from the developers asking me to contact them through a secured channel and give them my feedback or tell them if I have any issues with the game. Did I get that one? I did not get that one. Trim saying, I just got City Hall 21. How do I get T4 faster? Only 25 days old in the kingdom and you need it fast. Well, my friend, the thing I would be looking at is getting a rune that accelerates your research speed and max out all your personal research that helps with research. And if you can, nudge your alliance leaders to work on that alliance technology that influences research speed. Who is my most best member? That would probably be B at 72.5 million power. Dirk Zuvier says, coalition of alliance versus one big alliance. Who should win? It depends. Depends on who's better organized. A lot of small alliances are really hard to organize, quite frankly. Whew. Look at this open field combat, man. Just a madhouse here. Just a total madhouse. W, our biggest alliance got destroyed by an alliance with half its power. Wow, that's surprising. I wonder if a lot of the players in that biggest alliance were accounts that had ultimately quit already. They'd gone inactive. Shaked says hello from Nemesis, a.k.a. The opposing alliance in this Ark of Osiris. What's going on, Nemesis? W, our biggest alliance got destroyed by an alliance with half its power. Wow. CSGO, Banter. The top in my alliance are called Fight Club. They're really nice guys. That's cool. Brian Chung, Kingdom Chisgule. Do you know JMW Alliance from Kingdom 1059? I don't know why that sounds incredibly familiar, but sounds incredibly familiar. All-Star. Am new to this game, been playing for 3 weeks. Do you lose power in the Ark? You do not lose troops. You do not lose power in the Ark of Osiris. That's part of what makes Ark of Osiris so gosh darn fun. Adrian Youngman says, geez, I'm only 110,000 power, I take it? Any tips for new alliance leaders? You know, I got a lot of thoughts here. My big tip is going to be to communicate. The silence is deafening. People fill in the blanks with their own thoughts and ideas. Don't let them. Control the messages. Be a good, frequent communicator, and that will go a long, long way. Banter is saying also, do you know who are the top alliances in all kingdoms? I don't know who has the most powerful alliance across any kingdom. W is saying they got attacked while they were sleeping. They zeroed the members so they could not really fight. It was more a massacre than a war. Wow, that's really tough. That's super tough. Duan saying Ark plus war and KE equals 0 speed-ups. Yeah, man. Ark of Osiris will really fly through your speed-ups, that's for sure. If you're healing, tough. Whizzle, Chisgule, can you do some iTunes giveaways for us loyal fans? We can look into something like that. Pulpet, hey Chis, today we won 60k to 19k, and we were 19 versus 28. Proud of his alliance. Wow, that's very impressive. That's very impressive. Alex Torpfeld saying, is 5-1-1-1 the best way for Richard? Yes, max the first skill. And if you're very, very patient, you max the second skill, then the third, then the fourth, I think. But the problem is that takes a ton of sculptures, and I think 5-1-1-1 is good enough to start using Richard all over the place. Whew, that open field combat, though. Barry Beefeater, do you have mixed tier troops or all maxed tiers? I've got all tier 4, basically, at this point. Slumpton says, all right, thanks for the tips. I also feel I can't get enough active members. I have 31 out of 50 members, but half are inactive. Should I kick inactive or wait until I build a center fortress? So I'm not sure what building a center fortress has to do with that. Do you need 30 members to build a center fortress? Is that a thing? Otherwise, I would say, like, look, kick out the inactive so you have a sense of how many people you have in the alliance. But if you are not near being full, like you're at 31 out of 50, you can leave them in if you want to make it look like your alliance is a little bit stronger. But like you and I both know that the alliance is not actually that strong, and eventually someone will call you on that bluff. Trim says, the massacre, is it the one against TGD's troops? Because I'm a member and I lost all my troops. I don't know what that means. Nabusha, when you reach City Hall 23 and I'm a free-to-play account, farm account is needed. Yeah, I think a farm account helps in that situation. Phew, it's open field combat, though. And I think this is the only thing to see. I mean, you might have, like, one army running around the backside of the map to try to capture some stuff from the opposing side, but the fat lady is singing over here and only 10 minutes to go. Adrian Youngman, looking for a shout-out. Well, there you go, my friend. Shout out to Adrian Youngman. Khalil says, Chisgule Gaming, players in my kingdom and I are not that big, and someone just unlocked T5, and all the strong players are joining the alliance, and probably they are going to bully us. What do you think? Yeah, they might bully you. You should potentially become their ally to prevent that from happening. That said, just because they have T5 doesn't mean they know how to use them. There's at least 3 people in our kingdom who have made choices that I think were non-optimal with regard to commanders. So like just because you've got T5 does not mean you're a master of the game. So just because they have a T5 player does not mean that they're gonna take over everything. Steps Ernio says that they got the altar. Yep, does not surprise me. Oliver Prado, I need more events of kill, like the mightiest governor, for me, the war is all in this game. Yeah, the war is the best part of this game. And the tough part is that the very best part is also the most costly in terms of resources, in terms of troop deaths. So I don't know what the answer is there. Maybe it's Ark of Osiris. But then, if you have a kingdom war, you're really in trouble for Ark of Osiris because you don't have the troops and you're witnessing that exact problem right here. Slumpton 24K says, what's the best thing to buy in the shop as far as getting more for your money? It depends on what you're buying. In the Mysterious Merchant, I buy all the resource tiles that are 90% off. I also always exchange for a resource token if it only requires resources to do so, with the exception of gold. I don't trade into gold. I don't need any gold. I got plenty. Beyond that, I buy speed ups that are over 60% off or equal to 60% off. That's something I buy in the not the VIP shop, in the Mysterious Merchant. Adrian, you're welcome for the shout out, my friend. Thanks for watching. 36 chambers. Best way to take T5 down? Best way to take T5 down is when they attack in a situation that's disadvantaged for the attacker, like when they attack a flag or they attack a city. Then you rack up a bunch of kills. Wrecked Tony, what's going on, dude? Been a while since I've seen you. Hey, Chisgule, do you have any tips after a war? What should I do first? Train more troops, baby. Gotta get those troops back. Gotta get those troops back. You can see here the one of many of the consequences of not having the troops. Cass Christie, I'm new to this game and have 2 months in the kingdom. I started with China and I don't want to change it. Can I get your opinion on which commanders I should use to boost infantry? I like Sun Tzu and Ulji Mundok. I think they're great. Go with those two commanders. If you're using full infantry, I would say that as a 2-month-old kingdom, you might not have a full march of infantry at this point, so you might go a different route using a generalist as the primary. That might be the play. I also really like Sun Tzu for that situation because Sun Tzu cares about infantry, but only the tiniest amount. Woo, thanks for the like and the subscribe, Adrian. Much appreciated. Wrecked Tony. I lost 200,000 troops in the war, so you're mad. Yeah, man. My players lost on average 300,000 troops, I'm told. Ugh, gross. And that's just the last war. The war before that was as many or more. Alexander Torpfeld. I have 5.6 million power. What should I do during a war? You should use commanders that buff all of your allies, and you should get into objectives that are garrisoned by the strongest players in your alliance so that you can sort of wreak maximum havoc and damage on your enemies. Rowan says, which are the worst epic and legendary commanders? Do they need a buff? Ooh, worst epic and legendary commanders. I mean, at the legendary tier, I struggle a little bit with YSG. Not YSG, with El Cid. At the epic tier, I would love if Lohar was a little bit better. Like, he kind of does one thing, and he does it pretty well. But, like, he's basically worthless in every other situation. Trim saying, the massacre will not stop the war in Kingdom 1240. We will return. Adrian says, how do you get power easily? I mean, spending money goes a really long way. And getting max value in events where killing lots of barbarians is a thing also can be a great way to gain power. For instance, I'm going kind of ham right now during the Cleopatra event because doing something I was going to do anyways, which is battling barbarians, gives even more goodies than usual. Nick Benuelo says, hey Chis, I'm in Kingdom 1200 and 2 players had T5 before the level 2 gates opened. Wow. We're about 2 months old and both players close to 1 million T5s. Pray for the kingdom, please. I will pray for your kingdom. Good luck. Wizzle, is full archer build with Herman and Joan of Arc good? Sure, I think that's good. I think you might be better with El Cid as the secondary, but I think it's good. Pulpet, Is there any way for a free-to-play to climb the Legendary Governor event and get some legendary sculptures? It is tough for a free-to-play to win. You've got to save a ton of speed-ups to use during a single event and then power it out like crazy. That's the way you'd have to do it. Nick Banuelos saying, love my videos. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. Oh boy, 4 minutes left, but I think we clearly see the outcome of this battle. What are the takeaways? War is savage for the volume of troops you have. Absolutely savage. And having a high volume of troops is critical in the Ark of Osiris. Why is that? Because you need to be able to be in multiple places at a time, supporting rallies, leading rallies, battling in the open field. And if you only have 1 or 2 marches per player, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Let's say you got 2 players. 2 players? No, 2 alliances. Each alliance brings 30 players. One of those alliances has 3 marches per player. The other alliance has 2 marches per player. What's the difference? That's like a 10. I mean, I'm doing mental math here. This might not be right. But that's like 30 marches different. And 30 marches different, that's like 10 more players. Do you see what I'm getting at? Do you see what I'm getting at? If you have been in a kingdom that has been at war, ooh, a little rally going on over here. I like the look of this. If you've been in a kingdom that's at war and you've got 1 or 2 marches less than everybody else, you're in trouble. Our kingdom has had 2 massive wars. Every single one of my players is down 2 marches or more from where they were. That's a big deal. That's a very, very, very big deal. Okay, looking back at the comments. Wizzle, I'm free to play, so El Cid is hard for you. Yeah, El Cid's not a good choice if you're free to play, especially. Adrian Youngman, how many troops will your members lose? Over the course of this war? I mean, I think it's like an average of 300,000 troops in this war, and another 300,000 troops per player from the last war. Jose Ricardo, who should I pair with CPO? You know, you got a lot of good choices. I really like Joan of Arc as a pairing with CPO. That's what I personally was doing for a while. You want to bring a mixed army. Holy moly, what's going on here? We still have the rally going on. We got some crazy swarming going on. Wow. Nick Banuelos. Also, both of those players have spent close to $30,000 each. Thankfully, they're nice dictators. Wow. 30,000 for T5. I guess if you're rushing, that's the price of rushing. Kill event is the way to go for Midas Governor event. Our people in my kingdom score in the kill event like 40,000 points. I think maybe you mean million points. Foxy Fox, can you lose troops if your hospitals are full in the Ark of Osiris? No, there are no deaths in Ark of Osiris. Good question. Edward, hey Chisgule, do you have any news or updates on KVK? I don't, but I have to think that KVK is very, very important to the developers. I'm pretty sure they said as much in prior communications they've had. KVK has got to be coming, and I hope it's soon. Pulpet. So only speed up for the event because I don't know, some of the people in my kingdom during the kill event do like 50 million points. Yeah, I mean, our alphas in our kingdom will spend something like, well, they will obtain something like 20 million points just from training troops, typically. Easy. Easy. Wizzle, is Boudica or Joan of Arc better for rage generation? I would have Boudica be the primary, Joan be the secondary. They fill different roles. Joan of Arc gives other armies rage generation, which is really, really good. Boudica primary with the skill tree, however, generates a ton of rage in and of itself. Adrian, no, I'm not participating in this battle. I'm purely a spectator. Nelbs, saying, yes, he's in my alliance and lost just over 300,000 troops in one rally by a T5 player. Jeez. All right. Unfortunately for our friends in VYG, they took a pretty heavy loss here, and they just don't have the troops to do it. They did do a lot of healing, but they just did not have the marches, it looked like, to hang out on the battlefield. They were down some number of players. Pretty tough outcome. Pretty tough outcome. Let's see here. Is it going to show us who the top player was? It did not. Let's just get a look over here. Regret to inform us it was a defeat. Locos had a pretty solid individual score, followed by Zarbin, then Walls. Only 3 players making it over the 10,000 point threshold to actually get max rewards. Ultimately, it does look like they ended up with 25 players, although those players came a little bit late. All right. Well, my friends, I hope that you enjoyed watching this Ark of Osiris. I certainly enjoyed your comments and your participation. You know, Uka is agreeing with me. Chisgule, you said it, bro. Troops are everything in Ark of Osiris. Before my Osiris yesterday, I spent all my regular and training speed-ups on training troops, got up to 890,000 troops. In Osiris, they use no speed-ups. Yes, do not use your generic speed-ups in Ark of Osiris to heal troops. That would be, I think, a big mistake. I would think it would be a pretty big mistake. Sun Tzu or Ulji for primary depends on what you're doing. Depends on what you're doing. For the open field, I'd probably say Sun Tzu with infantry. Otherwise, Ulji. But then there's also the question of garrison. Ulji can be really good against a rally. Yuka is saying, only at the end did I have marches of less than 40k troops, and I healed like 273 troops. Yep. Is new war continuation video coming out today? Not today, probably tomorrow. My friends, I'm going to head out for now. I really enjoyed doing this with you. Again, thank you so much for your support. Please do like and subscribe if you find these videos helpful. It means a lot to me. And for those of you that have sent me kind messages in-game via mail, thank you for those. I do appreciate it. Until next time, my friends, you have fun smashing the kingdom.